Mark Denholm
at breakfast podcast.
Hello, welcome to episode 258 of the best bits of the Atom Radio Breakfast Show. This is Mark Denholm, usually Monday to Friday, 6 until 10. Well, today, Saturday, 2nd of March, 2024, and here we are releasing the podcast, and I do appreciate you may not be listening to it bang on 9:30 on the 2nd of March, but anyway, the thought is there. And hopefully you are having a good weekend if you are listening at the weekend, or maybe you're a late adopter and you're listening in the week. Either way, this is the best bits of the breakfast show this week as we wave goodbye to February, including the leap day. And we started off March, now into the third month of the year. On the way, what's real and what isn't, things you wouldn't give up if you won the lottery, the wheels on the bus, some random trivia, the leap day, liars, and a poor lady.
Mark Denholm
at breakfast podcast.
6:19 morning. Research shows that people believe fake news because it's easier than critically evaluating and analysing everything else they've heard. The question is, how do you know what's real or not? I had a very, very weird scenario last week, and now my little tiny brain is questioning, how do you know what's actually real and what isn't real? And I don't know, I can't rationalise it, but there you go. People believe fake news because it's easier than evaluating it.
Mark Denholm
at breakfast podcast.
Let's find out the top 5 of things you wouldn't want to give up if you were to win big on the lottery. At number 5, I wouldn't give up housework. I don't know why. At number 4, I wouldn't give up driving and get a chauffeur. At number 3, I wouldn't give up my job. At number 2, I wouldn't give up anything. I'm happy with my lot. And at number 1, I suppose the obvious one, I wouldn't give up my home.
Mark Denholm
at breakfast podcast.
24 minutes to 8 o'clock. This is Atom Radio. It's Mark Denholm at Breakfast Morning, and welcome to Wednesday. There's so much bad news around at the moment that I thought I'd share it. I love this. It's such a great news story. A woman reveals that her husband calls her from the top deck of the bus every single day to let her know he's passing by their flat so she can wave to him. Why is he passing by the flat? Why is he not getting off? I don't get that. I'm sorry, I don't get that. But anyway, he makes sure that he gets the front seat on the bus on the top deck, and he rings his wife so she can wave to him, and he waves to her every day as he goes past their house. Now there you are. There's so much doom and gloom in the news at the moment, at home and away, and all this, that and the other. I quite like that little good news story. Crack on to the both of them.
This is Mark Denholm
at breakfast.
Atom Radio.
If somebody says to you, bite down on that, correct them. It's only your bottom jaw that bites upwards. You do not bite downwards. Your top jaw does not bite down. Your bottom jaw bites up. So therefore, if somebody says to you today, yeah, bite down on that, feel free to correct them because they are wrong. Cuddling before bed also, by the way, helps your brain to relax. That may explain, as a man who lives on my own, why it is that I take ages to drop off to sleep then, because I can never shut my brain off. At bedtime, it just doesn't happen. Music can help the time pass by quicker, make your workout stronger, and help you feel less pain.
Mark Denholm
at breakfast podcast.
And happy birthday, by the way, if your birthday happens to be February the 29th. I want to know, though, if you were born on February the 29th, 2020, how old are you today? Are you 4 or are you 1? It's a valid question, really, isn't it? Are you 4 or are you 1, given it only happens once every 4 years? I don't know, if I'm honest, how I feel if I'd been born on a day that only happens once every 4 years, although I would certainly claim for being a quarter of the age that I am. That would make me very, very, very happy, although I don't know I'll get away with it.
Mark Denholm
at breakfast.
This is Atom Radio.
Atom Radio, morning, 17 minutes to 8 o'clock. Mark Denholm at Breakfast. A new study finds delays in texting responses may indicate that the other person is lying. So therefore, when you get a text, you should reply to it immediately if you don't want to appear to be coming across as a liar. Of course, some people just ignore you when you text. And it's not a delay, they just ignore you. Then eventually, about 2 weeks later, you get, oh, I'm so sorry, I thought I'd replied. That must be a mega whopper in terms of lies, that then, if they had to take 2 weeks to come up with a reply.
Mark Denholm
at breakfast podcast.
A lady has had to admit she is a lady called Sally Newell Saunderson. She's got a hyphenated name. She comes from Warrington in Cheshire. She spent 4 days trying to figure out why her laptop wasn't working. She phoned her broadband provider, She reset the laptop with fresh install of the software and everything. And then she took it to a repair shop. She left it saying, but it's still not working. It won't connect to the internet, not working at all. 5 minutes later, the repair shop called her and said to her, you do know you've had the Wi-Fi switched off, don't you? And when she went back to the shop, she's a very pretty lady, by the way, looking at the picture. When she went back to the shop, she then got shown this little Wi-Fi slider that she'd managed to turn off, meaning that no, it wouldn't work because it wasn't connecting to the internet. Today, I want to know what has been your most unfortunate shortcoming like that, where you couldn't figure out something that was blatantly easy. On air at atomradio.co.uk is my email address this morning, should you wish to get involved. When have you not been able to figure out something that was quite easy?
Mark Denham.
At breakfast. Podcast.
Can you imagine being that poor lady, though, dropping your laptop off and saying, no, it doesn't work, you have to fix it. And they notice that you've turned the Wi-Fi off. That's quite embarrassing. Easily done, I'm sure. And if you didn't know the switch was there, then yeah, you didn't know, did you? But clearly, as part of her troubleshooting, she didn't read the manual, did she? Which would have shown her that it does have a Wi-Fi switch. However, looking at the picture that accompanied the news story, she's a very attractive lady. So I'm sure she made up for it in other qualities. Thank you so much for checking out episode 258 of the Best Bits podcast. As always, I appreciate your company. You can subscribe either in your podcast app or on YouTube as well. While you're on YouTube, by the way, go find my son, Will Denholm, and subscribe to him as well. He would love your support and a little cheeky subscription, just like people used to do cheeky Nando's. You can do a little cheeky subscription to my son's YouTube. Back Monday morning, 6 o'clock on atomradio.co.uk on your mobile and on your smart speaker. Just say play Atom Radio from TuneIn to your smart speaker and it will. And you can listen on the online radio box or tune in on your mobile. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. See you Monday from 6.
Mark Denham.
At breakfast. Podcast.